Step 12 is the most important issue here. If you want to find a solution, you've got to find our creative win-win, focus on the interests. I'll give you an example. It's kind of a wild example from my high school days. There was what they called cut day. I don't know if they still do that, but there was cut day in my high school, and I was the president of the student body. And I was in a lot of honors classes, and all the teachers scheduled tests for that day. So either I'm going to show up and be the nerd that I was and confirm it with everybody, or not show up and maybe lose some of that nerdiness, but get lower grades. So we were as a catch-22. It doesn't sound like there's a solution. Well, when I talked to the principal, I found out that their biggest interest was not the 12th graders, but the fact that the 11th graders and the 10th graders and the 9th graders and even the 8th graders were cutting that day too. And they wanted to cut that out, make that stop happening. Now I know their interest. So now we can talk and negotiate. So what did we come up with? We said, okay, look, how about if we have a field trip that day? That way the teachers can't, for just the 12th graders, the senior day call it, the teachers can't schedule tests, so I'm not in trouble. And we go to the beach or somewhere fun that day. But the condition is that we'll do this only if the 11th graders, 10th graders, 9th graders wait for their time. They don't cut that day. And we significantly reduced the amount of cuts that day. So the principal got what she wanted, and I got what I wanted. So that's finding a creative win-win. When you first look at it, there's no way you could solve that problem. But when you find out what the true interests are, you can solve the problem. There's situations in lots of cases where somebody wants a piece of land, another person wants a piece of land, and they fight for years. Well, it turns out one wanted the middle rights and one wanted to put a house on it. They can coexist, but you got to find out the interest. You got to ask the questions. You got to find a creative win-win solution. Situation comes up where I had talked about the price increase. Well, what if what if long-term business was more important to me, my company? So we give them a credit for the price increase for future years based upon more volume of business. You can be creative in any sort of a situation like that. So be creative. In the case of the buying a house, especially in today's market, if you have a smaller house that you can't get rid of, and you have the money to buy a bigger house, maybe the person selling the bigger house will take cash plus the house you have, a house in trade, so that they have less of a mortgage payment to make, and they can maybe more easily sell it because it's worth less money. You got to look at alternatives like that, and there's no way to quantify all the different alternatives, but you got to look at them. When I bought my lot, what happened in the mediation was I found out the true interests of the other couple was to make a little money. They said they wanted the lot, they were going to build on the lot, but they really wanted to make some money. They wanted to make, and we ended up giving them $20,000 so that they made a little money and they walked away. So although they said they wanted to build there, we found out their true interest, and that's sometimes an art in negotiation, and that's where the real gift comes in play. But by doing all these steps up to step 12, you do that. Now you don't stop there.